Hey everybody, welcome back. So today we're going to be building some rabbit cages for the rabbits. We're going to make them a little bit bigger than what they have now, and these are going to be hanging cages. And so the design I've chosen for these is they're going to be 30 by 30 on the length and the width, and then a 24-inch height. So it gives them plenty of room, especially for the does, to have a nesting box in there and move around and what have you. And so I'll kind of show you the design. I built one already, and then I'll kind of walk you through what I'm doing, and then we can and I'll show you how I'm going to install them. So this is the design here. As I said, 30 by 30 and then 24 inches high. So plenty of room, probably higher than I needed to be, but I just have no desire to cut wire. The minimal cuts I have to make, the better, because anybody that's ever done it knows it gets old real quick. But so I've got the feeder, the door, and I'm going to change out the hinge on there to make it a little bit better. But I'll rest these on the back wall, on the back of a wall there, and then hang the fronts here. So of course they're off the ground and what have you. But what I've started doing is I'm getting my pieces cut out. So your bottom pieces, I move this here. If you can find like a 14 gauge, better. Most of it, honestly, you're gonna find is 16 gauge, galvanized. But for the bottoms, and I did the same for the tops, just because of, uniformity and the fact that I don't want to cut a bunch of stuff. You want a bottom piece that's 1/2 inch by 1 inch. That'll let manure drop. It's easier on their feet. And it's, it's just for those reasons. That's why you want to do that. The sides, you can do like a 1 inch by 2 inch or what have you. I chose to do a 1 by 1 inch on this, just to make life easy on me, because I couldn't find any 1 by 2s. But I'm gonna get this stuff cut, and then I'll show you how I'm kind of putting these together, and we'll go from there. One tip that I would recommend is, with this rolled wire, especially when you get towards the end, it's wound pretty tight, and it wants to stay rolled up. So if you've got time, cut these pieces out and put some weight on them. It doesn't have to be anything like I found just out here on the patio, my pellet holders for my smoker and propane tank, just to sit on this, and that way it'll help that metal relax and make it way easier to put the sides on it, or if this is a roof piece, to do the same, because if not, you'll just be fighting it for longer than you should, trying to get it to straighten out. So one of the first things I do on this, and it makes sense to me, is I will get the sides secured and clipped together. And to do that, you can get these on Amazon or like Tractor Supply or what have you, but they make these pliers, to put these in these like J-clamps or whatever they are, to put secure these cages and these sides together. And so I will put a clip on here on this side and secure this panel to that, and then come over here, you know, on this side and do the same thing, and that makes it easier to work with and kind of straighten out. It's gonna look flimsy and not put together until you get all the sides on there, and then it's gonna start to level out like this and stay flat and what have you. So don't be overly concerned if it, you know, if you look at this wire and you're like, dang, this is just not gonna straighten out. It'll relax and come together and fit as it should, as you get everything lined up and I don't want to say squared up, because there's just almost no way to get this stuff perfectly square, because it's just, you know, it's flimsy. But so I'll start putting this together and show you how it works, and if I can figure out a way to do this one-handed, probably later on I'll show you how these clips work. So this is kind of what these clips look like when they go on. And so you just slide it on. I'm going to put this one, make this one here a little bit. Of course, I got to make this challenging because I'm just doing it one hand. I don't have my tripod or anything with me. That'd be too intelligent, right? But slides on like that. And then, of course, I can't do this two-handed. One-handed. So how these clips work is they just slide on, you know, like that over the two. And you've got 3 crimp points. And so what I do is I'll crimp that first one like that. And then, sorry, my not watching the camera, and crimp that and crimp that one there. And let me get on this side here actually, so I can, and then you just crimp it down like that, and make sure you got a good tight crimp on that. Like I said, you can pick these up at like a Tractor Supply or wherever. I got these and the pliers off of Amazon. I can put the link in the comment section, because I got 300 of these clips, and I believe the pliers for like 13 or 14 bucks, which was just, I couldn't beat that price. And so yeah, that's how those work. And so you just want to go along and, you know, I tried to do, you know, I just did this one for display, but I tried to do at least every 6 inches on the bottoms, since it's going to be supporting a lot of weight. And I'll do the same thing on the top as well. And depending on, once I get the rabbets in there, I'll reevaluate, and if I need to put more on there, I'll just kind of do that in place. All right, so as I was saying earlier, the pieces will, once you get everything together, it'll kind of square up and flatten out. And then after that, you've got to cut the door in. And so what I did on this is you can do the door any size that you want. I did 12 by 12 on this one here. And the reason I did that is so I have no problems getting nesting boxes in here, or you know, enough room to, you know, grab, you know, the rabbit and safely get them out of the enclosure. And so what you need to do now is put a latch on this. And so how I'm going to do that, I'll show you here. But I'm going to use a piece of 10 gauge copper wire. You could use aluminum, you could use whatever. This is something I had laying around from scraps from something I was working on. So instead of going out and buying a roll of this, I'm just gonna do this. So I'll show you how I, bend it. You're gonna want to get some, just a pair of wire snippers and what have you. And then since I'm kind of doing this one-handed, I will put it on here and show you kind of in depth how it works and go from there. Okay, so here's how you want to attach this. You just kind of want to bend this over here and then run it down and then 90 it, clamp it here, and then another clamp here, and then another clamp here, and you want to flare it out with your wire cutters, just using, put it in one of these holes here, and then, that way you've got a little handle to push, and then you can open it up, and it's shut and secured. My rabbits are not escape artists, so this is good enough for them. Depending on what your rabbits, you may have to, put a couple carabiner clamps down here and here to keep them, from wandering around. But mine are super chill on the fact, as long as they got food and water, they're not going anywhere. Okay, so we got the cages built, and now we're in the rabbit hutch. And so we're going to run them along this wall here. Let me see if I can't switch this over. And this is the wall we're going to run them along. And so what I've started doing is, and I'll kind of show you everything here. So they actually, when we purchased this place, had a whole bunch of this insulation stuff. And so I put it up against the walls there, and surprisingly it actually works. And so yeah, I've got the chickens and a few turkeys in here as well right now, but it actually made a difference in here on the temperature. And I put a 240 CFM fan there that I can either run off of AC or DC. That just kind of plugs in right there. But anyway, I got sidetracked. So our cages are going to sit on this ledge here, and then we're going to have wire running down to support them on the front here. And so I'm going to get these screwed in here and the wire cut and get it somewhat level and show you what it looks like, and then we'll go from there. Okay, so we got the cages hung here, and used some eye bolts and some cable. I kind of went overboard on the cable, but figured safe than sorry. And so I just put her in her cage here, and so she's just been kind of exploring around, seeing what's what, trying to figure out if she can escape or not. But we'll run the watering system here in a little bit and make sure that they all have continuous water.